Now we're on number 4, factor 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 using the AC method. So similar to number 3, let's just rewrite this really quick. Perfect. As you know, this is A, B, C, nothing crazy. Now, what goes on the top is A times C, and what goes on the bottom is B. So 4 times 25 would be 100, right? Because if you have 4 quarters, 4.25 cents makes $1 100 cents. That's how I think of it. Now, on the bottom we have negative 20. So we need a number that multiplied together gives us this, but added together gives us this. So the first thing I like to do is just see what I got in terms of what multiples I have. So let's say 100 times 1 equals 100. And that could work, but add it up, no. So that's out. Let's try 50 times 2. That gives us 100. 50 times 2 gives us 100, but added together, 50 plus 2 gives us 20? Nope. Out of the question. What about 10 times 10 equals 100? Yeah. And 10 plus 10 does not give us negative 20. However, what if we put negative 10 times negative 10? Since negative times a negative equals a positive, we would still have a positive 100. However, negative 10 plus negative 10 would give us negative 20. So that would work. So now, as you remember, this, just had to change color so you can see it, replaces this in the middle. So negative 10, and we also get the x. So our new answer is going to have 4x squared, that stays the same, minus, not because of that minus, because of this minus, minus 10, what symbol's here? X. The other one is minus 10, and the symbol still here is x, plus 25. So remember, this AC method is to substitute what's in the middle. That's all we're doing. So now let's do some grouping. Once again, if you can't do GCF, you can't do grouping. If you can't do grouping, you can't do AC method. It all like kind of falls on itself. So what's the greatest common factor of 4 and 10? What number can be multiplied into all of them? Obviously not 4, because 4 times nothing will give us 10, and 10 times nothing will give us 4. We got 2. Because 2. Oops, forgot the x. I'm getting too excited. This has an x squared. This has an x to the 1 power, basically. Who's smaller? X. Very good. Now, 2 times what gives us 4? 2. X squared, x1, there's just 1x. Perfect. Minus 2 times what gives us 10? I almost said it, 5. Have an x here, we got an x here, so there's no x here, right? X to the 1 minus x to the 1, 0, so nothing. Minus, you see a minus, you write a minus. What do we factor out here? Obviously a 5, right? Because 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 is the greatest common factor. That would be 2. X comes down because there's no x here. What do we got here? Now this is something you gotta realize. Check out what I'm doing. Negative 5 times what number? Because you have to consider this sometimes. When you have a negative here, or is more messy than a positive. What negative times what negative gives us positive 25? Negative 25. Negative 5, right? Because negative 5, let's just do it over here, times negative 5, a negative times a negative equals a positive. Now 5 times 5, whoops, we don't need the extra now. 5 times 5, 25, positive 25, which is what we had up there. So you remember that these two, when you multiply them together, have to give us that number. Same thing, these two, multiply together, have to give us that number. Just remember that small little detail. Some people will just put like, oh, I see plus, I'll write a plus. No, because if this was positive 25, negative 5 times positive 5, give us, so on and so forth. I think you get the picture. I don't keep repeating myself. So now we're on the last part. Did these come out the same? the parentheses only. 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. You're darn tootin'. 2x minus 5, that's part of the answer. Now what do we have on the outside of both of them? You got a 2x and a minus 5. Kind of funny. They all came out exactly. So we are pretty much done with this. Oh, you can actually go a step further. If you ever have two of the same, you can go further and do this. Squared. This whole thing means literally those two things. But yeah, I mean, we're done. 2x minus 5 and 2x minus 5. If you want to write it cleaner, you once again can write it this way. 2x minus 5 squared, because you're saying we have two of these. And that's about